Hello, welcome to Misterios Divinos podcast. Tonight, we're delving into a concept that has captivated and, well, divided believers for centuries. A single moment depicted in books and movies as the ultimate vanishing act.
You know the image: cars suddenly without drivers, clothes left in a pile where a loved one used to be, the world thrown into absolute chaos. This is the popular idea of the rapture, a dramatic, instantaneous disappearance of Christians from the face of the earth.
But here's the big question. How much of that dramatic scene is based on Scripture, and how much is just modern myth? Well, let's dive in and see if we can unravel this thing.
To start our investigation, we have to go back to the source. The whole idea really hangs on one key passage, from a letter written by the Apostle Paul.
Now, the really interesting part is that phrase, caught up. Because here's something that might surprise you. The word rapture itself isn't actually in most English Bibles.
So where does it come from? It's actually from the Latin translation of the original Greek word harpazo, which means to be seized or snatched away forcefully. So that's the core event. But the real mystery, the great debate, isn't about if it happens, it's about when. And this brings us right to the heart of the conflict, the timing. You see, the Bible talks about a future 7-year period of incredible difficulty, which is known as the tribulation. And the question that has sparked centuries of debate is, where exactly does the rapture fit into that timeline?
This timeline here illustrates the three main theories perfectly. You have the pre-tribulationists who believe the church is taken out before all the chaos begins. Then there are the mid-tribulationists who see it happening right at the halfway point, the 3.5-year mark. And finally, you have the post-tribulationists, who believe believers go through the whole thing and are raptured at the very end.
So how do theologians support these totally different timelines? Well, this is where it gets fascinating. They're all looking at the exact same scriptural clues, but they are interpreting them in vastly different ways.
A huge piece of the puzzle really revolves around this one question. The Bible seems to send some mixed signals about suffering, which is where things get complicated.
You see, many scholars will argue that there is a critical difference between tribulation, which is like pressure or persecution from the world, and wrath, which is God's direct judgment on the world. This distinction is absolutely crucial for the pre-trib and mid-trib views, because they argue the church gets raptured before God's wrath is poured out.
Okay, let's look at another clue, the last trumpet. I mean, how you interpret this single phrase completely changes the timeline. Is it a secret, special signal just for the church? Or is it the final world-altering blast that's described in the book of Revelation?
And then you have what might be the biggest point of contention of all, Matthew 24. Here, Jesus himself says that his return and the gathering of his elect happens after the tribulation. So, for post-tribulationists, this is pretty much case closed. But pre-tribulationists have a counter-argument. They say Jesus was talking specifically to Israel in this passage, not the church.
So what becomes pretty clear is that this isn't a mystery because there's a missing clue. Nope, all the clues are right there in the open. The conflict is all about how you interpret them.
As one person put it in an online discussion, the debate isn't really about whether the event is biblical, it's about when it will be. Each one of these positions is a really complex theological framework, and they're all built from the exact same set of scriptures. And all of this leaves us with a final, really thought-provoking question. You know, this isn't just a debate about some future event. It's a profound look into how we read ancient texts and how we try to map out a destiny that, in the end, remains shrouded in divine mystery.
We hope this explainer has shed some light on this really fascinating topic. If you liked it, please subscribe, leave a like, and tell us what you liked most in the comments. And of course, share it with someone you think would be interested. We'll see you next time on Misterios Divinos podcast.